Hi, Andrew Bell here. I was due to commence today the first of a series of reports on various aspects of the Gold Coast property market. However, I've been inundated with requests from a wide cross-section of media, as well as research houses, and most importantly, from a number of our key clients wanting a mid-year overview of what's happening here on the Gold Coast. I thought as there was that much interest, that I'd also like to provide the same to you. And so I will start my series of Gold Coast property reports commencing in the next e-newsletter. Now, for those of you who've been following my reports throughout this year, you will see that the key drivers of the property market are all generally heading in the right direction. The economy is surprising us on the upside. Unemployment is much lower than expected at this point in time. Interest rates have now fallen 1.25% in 8 months, and housing affordability is improving off lower prices and lower interest rates. And perhaps the only lag at this stage is population growth, which we should start to see pick up in 2013 as the demand for skilled mining labour will require increased immigration. So all of those basic fundamentals are in pretty sound condition, but it does take some time for those solid foundations to come through to increase market activity. For example, research has always shown that it takes up to 6 months to see any benefit from interest rate falls. For example, we're probably only now just starting to see the benefits of the interest rate falls in November, December last year. We also know on the international scene that concerns over Europe continue to worry many Australians. My belief is that until there is the political will to make the economic reforms in countries such as Greece, the financial resources which are available to deal with the problem will not be provided. Did you know that in recent months, Greece has increased its public service by over 70,000 at the very time that they're suggesting that they're serious about reform? We can see why there is a reluctance to provide the economic support, and whilst the preliminary news over the last week was great, it will take several years until Europe is off the high danger list. Back here in Australia, there are definitely signs of stronger activity in the real estate market. Some might suggest that we're looking through rose-coloured glasses, but I've been in the industry for 42 years and I've certainly seen my share of the real estate cycles. What I've learned is that there are a series of really key indicators that give some indication about whether the market has bottomed out after, of course, a price correction period. I was fascinated to see a recent Matuzik report that almost reflected identically my own internal measures of the state of the market and whether the market had in fact bottomed out. So let me share those with you. The first is that there is a significant decline in the number of properties on the market for sale. Well, that is very clear. And our biggest complaint as a real estate company is an acute shortage of stock in the market for sale. It's the lowest number of listings I've ever seen on the Gold Coast in 22 years. And that's also reflected in the small volume of advertising in the Gold Coast Bulletin. The second measure is that there is a significant increase in the number of people looking for properties. Well, that's certainly the case with us, and we're recording up to 3 times the level of inspections at open homes than that we did at this same time last year. Thirdly, that we start recording offers on properties before even the first advertisement is placed in the paper. Well, at present, we've gone even further than that, and what we are recording is properties selling on the actual day of listing to buyers that we have on our database who wanted to secure the property before anybody else could see it. Our fourth measure, when multiple offers are received on properties through different buyers on the same property. Again, we're starting to see a significant increase on this. And just 2 weeks ago, for example, we had a property where we had 5 people negotiating on the same day for one of our properties, something unseen over the past 5 years. The fifth measure is that the properties start to sell above list price or at reserve price. Well, over the past few months, we've recorded frequent sales, lots of them at auction, where they're selling up to over 10% of reserve. Likewise, in the multiple offer situation on non-auction properties, we've seen a lot of sales occurring to buyers offering more than the listed price just to secure the property due to competition. Our sixth measure, a tightening in vacancy rates and rising rents. Well, that's certainly been a phenomenon we've seen for some time now here on the coast. It does vary from one region to another and one property type to another. Yet we are certainly seeing those stronger demands for the newer properties than perhaps the older properties. But generally across the whole gambit of the offers, we're seeing a tightening in vacancy rates and rising rents. And finally, the measure of days on market. And of course, you'd want to start to see them in decline. And that's certainly the case once again. A significant fall, about half the days on market that they were in 2011. Now add to all of those some of the significant sales that we've recorded during 2012 from the record sale just a couple of weeks ago at Sanctuary Cove for $12 million, through to our sales of the J Penthouse for $7 million, and in the commercial scene, a commercial sale last week for $7 million and another rental building for $5.5 million, a Cronin Island sale for $6.1 million and a Hedges Avenue sale for $5.3 million, and a source of others in the $3 to $5 million bracket. And you can see that even in the most fragile segment of the Gold Coast property market, namely the prestige end, that confidence is returning, as reflected in good sales activity. I suspect now, with the 1st of July ticking over and the drop in stamp duty on properties, and also the good news that occurred over the last week on Greece, that we're going to see a lot of activity for the month of July. I share in the belief of so many other researchers now that the Gold Coast property market has clearly bottomed out. What is likely to occur moving forward is that vendors will start to become more confident and more ambitious about pricing, and perhaps the best buying opportunities may have already passed or will do so very quickly. There is much more I could share with you about the market, but in the limited time I have with you here today, I hope this does give you a bit of a finger on the pulse feel about the activity in the broader Gold Coast property market at present. Next e-newsletter, I will get back to our series of studies on various aspects of the Gold Coast property market, and I'm sure you'll find that very interesting. Until then, thanks for your time.